Good morning, everybody. It's Yankee Wally here. I am sorry I've been missing a couple of days, but I got some really good excuses. Well, you see this here. I'm going to show you this now. See, massive 18-storey student block to be built in Cardiff. And there it is there, the big one. But also, it's the one next to it to the right. These are not the real pictures. These are the artist's impressions. Now, it's going to take 706 students are going to be housed in here, which is great because we've got a big university here, lots of students, brings in money, keeps the city money flowing, and it's going to be finished in, I think it's going to have a studio, a juice bar, a fitness suite. I wonder if I can sneak in there, because the reason I'm telling you all this is because it's right next door to me. In fact, I'll show you. See the yellow arrow there? Shaky fingers. That pitched roof there is the flats, and I'm in the ground floor there. So it's right next door. And every morning at 7 o'clock on the dot, the generator starts up because they probably need electricity. And it goes, I think I've done this for you, haven't I? Constant till 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Then they go home. I've had the weekend off this week, which is great. But it's upsetting me because it goes all day. Now, I usually stay up in the night and go to sleep in the day. Or not. It doesn't really... Well, you can please yourself, can't you, really? But it's completely putting me off everything. It's irritating me. Really is irritating me. And I did tell you, I've told you this before, but it's getting worse. So on Saturday, it was nice and quiet, and I went down the pub. I didn't go till about 3 o'clock. Usually, I'm good for about 3 or 4 hours. I don't really stay much longer than 3 or 4 hours. And then I have maybe 1 pint an hour, so that'd be about 4 pints. But I didn't this Saturday. I went on. I think I got home about 8 o'clock. And I was smashed. I really was. And only lager, that's all I drank. But of course, after 4 pints, it's not good for me because I'm in and out the toilet all the time, and that gets on my nerves. So anyway, I had 4... I think I had 6 pints, maybe 5, and a couple of packets of crisps. I had a nice time, but that kind of put me off then for yesterday. And now tomorrow we've got the bloody generator starting up at 7 a.m. It's not going to be fun. And where you see the stained glass window on the other side, that's actually a hospital. It used to be a church there, but it's now all part of the hospital, Cardiff Royal Infirmary. Not a hospital where you can go for emergency treatment, but they have the orthopaedic and everything that you don't need operations for. All the hospital visits. It's got a chemist in there. My doctor's in there. It's really handy because I can come through the gates and run across the road here and straight in. Well, I don't run anymore, but so that's a bad one at the moment, and I'm not enjoying it very much. But anyway, don't matter about that now. Let's talk. Now, this twerking video, I know I shouldn't keep going on about it, but it's had something like 50+ million views. And it's not because people are thinking, oh, isn't she special? Isn't she precious the way she can move when she's pregnant? No. People are looking in horror at this video because it really is, it totally gives the game away as far as I'm concerned. And those of you that have had children, you know that the bump is it's not like a wart. Let's say a wart. You know when you got those warts on your face? They kind of, well, you can get rid of those actually, those little warts on your face. In fact, I had 2 on my neck that I looked like, looked like I'd been bit by Dracula. 2, just like that on my neck. But my mother got rid of them, and what she did was she tied a hair around each one of them. I suppose she could have used cotton, but it doesn't sound as good, does it? But she did use hair when I was little, and tied it tight and left it. And then after about, I don't know, I was very young, they dropped off. Now, my grandmother, she had one in between her eyebrows, in the small of her nose. She had another one on her forehead, And I don't know, maybe went somewhere else. But people in those days just grew up with them, didn't they? They didn't do anything about them. I had two on my neck I had removed. I think my daughter's going to have one on her cheek. But those are different. When you've got a little mole or something like a little pimple, you can squeeze it and kind of move it, can't you? It's a bump under the skin, but it moves. A pregnancy is nothing like a pimple or a wart. It's joined to you. It's everything is joined inside, you know, and you can't take the bump and move it up your body. It doesn't work like that. It just can't do it. And of course, when Meghan did her twerking, it was quite despicable actually, because here we are. Let me have a little look here. Oh, I'm copying too much. Here we go again. Look there. Now, look, she's grabbing it underneath. Watch now, she lifts it up. Look at the look on her face, too. Who do you think you are, madam? Yeah, pull your dress down. Oh, look at it. Oh, here comes Rastaman. Look now, watch now. That doesn't happen in real life. It just doesn't happen like this. Now, apparently, she's got a new disaster team. Apparently, she sacked 4 of her staff and she's taken on destruction team or something. The ones that look at the state on it. Oh my God, and she's padded out her backside. Look at the state. When she turns around now, you can see that her legs are not in line with her body. Look, there's, oh dear. See that? Look at that now. Oh, she's like, oh, this is ridiculous. I can't stand it. But anyway, that to me is the ultimate proof. I feel so vindicated, but I'm disgusted and very disappointed to see people letting it slip, letting it go. I don't know what else I can do, whether I should write to the royal family, but, you know, I think that a lot of people have directed their complaints to the royal family on X, you know, and because they do read those. And I've done that several times. Is it going to come now that they're going to just let the furor die down and just carry on as we were? If they do that, then everything that Meghan's done, she's got away with. And that is annoying. That is and anyway, this new disaster, or whatever they're calling themselves, some new staff, they've got all the new ideas. I think the twerking video might have been one of them. Netflix asked Meghan to take it down and she refused. But the other thing that they came out with, now Neil Sean said this tonight and he's 100% confirming it's true, that on the Trooping of the Colour, her PR people advised her that it would be a good idea if her and Harry came over to UK and watched the Trooping of the Colour like the normal people do, you know, in the crowd. And then if the videos catch them, which they would because they'd bring their own videos, then everyone would think, oh, look at them, came all the way to support the king and they haven't even been invited up on the balcony, therefore she'd get sympathy. She would get a lot of sympathy. And she was going to do it. Meghan was okay with it, Harry wasn't. But her her presentation with some new medal or statue or something stupid and needed was coming up on Saturday in Los Angeles, so she had to not do it. Now, I think she would have done that because of what I just said, she's getting away with things so much that she's, well, see, to Meghan, it doesn't really matter if you watch it, if you watch it disgusted. The fact is she's getting the views, and that's good enough for her. She'll do anything to get herself on the covers. She is so hungry for attention that she is now going to take a few more risks, as if she hasn't already. So her coming over to the Trooping of the Colour was a possibility. Lucky it didn't happen, because nobody would have known, you see. She would have dodged the tomatoes that way because she would have made sure that she was, I don't know, got a box somewhere 20 foot up in the air or something. I don't know what she was planning, but she would have planned something where the cameras could see her, but the public couldn't throw anything at her. And I think that she would have done it. And I'm pretty disgusted about that because I know that she will come to England when she wants to. I know she will. Nothing will stop her. The thing is, she won't make it public, but she'll have the pictures to show afterwards to say, see, I did it, you know? Anyway, I've been posting a bit on Twitter tonight because I think that it's time that we made sure that we don't let them forget exactly what is what. And the one thing that I posted, in fact, what I did today was I charged up my old phones. And I think that the problem with my charging at the moment is that my batteries are going. So I charged up my old phones, and one of them I did have a new battery in, so it's working very well. But I managed to get some stuff on it that I haven't normally seen. Where's X? Let me just get it. So in order to save it, I had to put it onto Twitter, and then let me just see what we got. Angela Levin, here she is. Not now. What is Meghan Markle up to? Showing her wobbling stomach and bending down legs wide so you can almost see their tops. If she wanted to film herself, she should have kept it private, not turn others' stomachs. Well said. Saying it's Lilibet's birthday is no excuse. It's just embarrassing. Yet she wanted to be a royal. There's a lot of things coming out at the moment, but unfortunately, here we go. Let's have a look. There we are. That's Meghan Markle's first husband. Oh, look, that's got 835 people seen it. 41,000 people. There's her first husband. It's not Trevor Engelson, but rather a Northwestern University alumni and now a criminal lawyer called Joseph Goldman Giuliano. The relationship lasted for 2 years but ended up in an annulment. In the United States, annulment is almost identical to a divorce. The difference is that divorce terminates a marriage. The marriage existed, but it's over. But an annulment is a legal declaration that the marriage never occurred. Hence, it's hard to find any paper trails about this marriage before Meghan was famous. A website has the information about this guy, but later relinquish. This is what the media doesn't want you to see. Yep, that's why you can't find it anywhere. I've got a picture of Joe Giuliano with his wife, and he's got 2 children. And it was a picture in a museum or somewhere. I don't know how I got it, but it's on one of my phones somewhere. A lovely looking lady he's married to. She looks maybe Thai or Filipino. Very, very pretty, and 2 lovely little children. And I hope he's really happy. Oh, there we are. Give me the championship trophy now. Look at her. Look at how embarrassing. There she goes. Look. Let me touch it. Let me touch it. Let me touch it. Have you noticed how she keeps clapping herself? And another thing, she pretends to have conversations even though there's nobody there, because I think she likes the way her mouth works when the photographs, the paparazzi are there. She'll start, look, see, she's talking, but nobody listens. She tries to take his prize off him. Oh, dear. God. There she is again. Oh, it's lovely, that is. It's something you can see if you're on. Here's Enoch Powell, I love him. Can you see through her acting yet? Oh, this is terrible. There's Meghan Markle in Birkenhead. Look at this one. Uh-oh. There. Oh, I want to... can I stop that? Yes, I think that's it. This is the one. Now, I've put this up on my Twitter. It's a little, I don't know, 45-second video. And in the beginning, you can see that I've put the pictures of the dolls. Right, hang on. There you go. Now, all these are fake at the bottom line. and the second line. What I did was I put different colour shades on them so that, they just look a bit different. That one on the left, where her hand is, that's the real Archie. There's the breathing switch. You can see the turquoisey colour, Harry's thumb pressing. Notice he's pressing into the side of that doll. And is this a real baby? They look so alike, don't they? You see that? That one's the top middle, and the next one down middle, and the one on the left. All these are Archie. These are the fake Archies, the bottom two rows. Can you see the difference? No. Right, let's go through the other one. I've got to keep going on this, and I'm getting a bit mad at people. Yeah, it's okay, that's all right. I just want to see some pictures. I noticed that Dan Wootton said tonight, I was the first person in the world that called her out on it. And I thought, no, you weren't, Dan. Maybe he means the first person in mainstream media. I don't know. This is if you go on to Google and you ask for show me a birth certificate, they will show you one with a signature at the bottom, somebody called Meghan. It's a copy. It's not, it's not, you can't use it. It's just, they took a picture of a blank one, but it just so happened that a registrar somewhere in mid-London had signed it. But it didn't make any difference. It's worthless. And the number, and that's the one that they used for Archie. That's the one. 0 evidentiary value. There we go. Right. Darren and Archie. The one on the left is Darren, and the one on the right is Archie. Look at the lips and the little bit of down on his face. Even Harry said that. I think they put a little bit of makeup. Again, if you look at the hand underneath the timing, see his thumb there? Prodding. There's Meghan's fingers, you can just see the ends, and there's Harry's thumb pressing hard. That's the breathing machine. I don't know if I managed to. No, I didn't. Ah, no, here it is. Right. This is a fake baby, $59.95. As I said, you can shade it any colour you like. That's a reborn doll breathing mechanism. It runs on a battery. There's a button there, which is on two wires. And you can either, and they're also in the middle of the breathing machine, the grey part. At the top, you can see a start button, or you can press the black one that's on a wire. So you can hide it under the baby's armpit, which is exactly what Harry did there. Can you see? While he's digging his thumb into the newborn doll, because you can open the doll up and put this inside. And it's even got that grey bit is like a paddle that goes up and down, up and down. See the little hinge there by the button on the mechanism? And it goes up and down like that, which sticks out of the baby's chest and fools the photographers that are there to take a picture of the newborn baby. But they didn't open his... You see? This is a doll called Darren. And he's trying to press the button to try and get the little thing to breathe, the little doll to breathe with one of those. It's an extra, I don't know, £100 for a breather. They're not cheap, And that's where somebody, not me, but somebody had overlaid some bandage or things to make it look, Darren, to look like the baby. And is identical. Never forget the lies. Never. There's too many. There's way too many. Oh, do you remember when William was trying to avoid Meghan at the church on one Christmas, 2018 or 2019, and somebody made a joke about it? It was the winter of 2018 at the Christmas church service at Sandringham. The locals came to see the royals unite in a show of epic acting never before witnessed in this setting. One man, however, decided he would not play along that day. They call him Scarface. You know how William wrapped a scarf around his face, or kept replacing, fiddling with his scarf so that he didn't have to look on or make conversation with Meghan. He loves the royal family with a vengeance. And what that is a knock-up of Al Pacino in Scarface, if you remember. And they called him Scarf Face. I think that's hilarious. Oh, that's Benny Hill. Yeah, that's, just things. So sad. So sad what's going on at the moment, like, there's so many people speak out and say things, and thank God we are able to, but so much gets ignored, and the world trundles on according to the law of the liars. The liars are getting, and I get so cross, because I don't care if Meghan and Harry stay together. I don't care if she keeps her Instagram and sells jam. I don't care what she does. I don't care. Because when the truth is out about those two children, they'll be in a better place, because hopefully she's got no motherly instincts at all. I can tell she just hasn't. And the trip to where did they go? Disney, wasn't it? I mean, we were all looking at different aspects of it, but the one thing that I noticed was just silly little things, but they're not silly when you take it in the bigger picture. For instance, where is it? Let me just... She's a beautiful little girl. Both of the kids are lovely. I really am I'm very, very fond of them. I really am. But at the same time, here we go. What colour's that bobble in her hair? It's what they use to... Why is her hair not brushed properly? That's another thing. But the bobble is white, isn't it? Take a look on here. Her bobble there is brown. Also, what she's wearing here versus... Oh, I don't like that. Why am I saving Miley Cyrus, for God's sake? She's wearing a sweatshirt. I didn't keep all the pictures, silly me. She should be wearing a sweatshirt on the horses, but when you see her here, she's wearing a cardigan over a little t-shirt, I think. There's a big difference in what the little girl is wearing. Oh, God, get off there. Sod off. Oh, yeah, there we are. That one's a white bobble, and that one's a brown bobble. And I did take pictures, although I haven't got them here, I'm sorry to say. There's a little blue hat she was wearing with a little blue air hole, I think you call them. And then she's, in the other pictures, it's got a pink air hole. Why would you go to Disneyland for 2 days and take 2 blue hats? You wouldn't, would you? And why would you go with a lemon sweatshirt and then a lemon cardigan? Just things that weren't adding up. I know it's pathetic, and I know I shouldn't really bother myself, but once you know somebody is wearing different clothes on the same person, you wonder why. I mean, if you were 2 days at Disneyland, she had 2 outfits to wear, even though the second one, God love her, was a nightie. There it is there. Well, I think it's similar, isn't it? It's like that is a nightie. And that's the room that they stayed in, because that's the floor that they were stood on. You see? And that, I think she is wearing a nightie there. And the little Archie's got his one foot on the other, and she's got her toe in the air, which is very odd. There we are, there's a lovely room. Isn't it beautiful? Something's not right. Yeah, there's so much wrong. Here's her little foot. There's something not quite right about this family. And I think that it shouldn't be our job to sort it out. It should be the royal family's job to do it. They should get to the bottom, because this is definitely not right. They are saying that is the heart monitor that they've got on her. No, it couldn't be. Impossible. Look at the size of her backside. She's padded that out. I mean, she got the cheek. I don't know if she realises just how obvious she is, or doesn't she care, because even even the fact that we are horrified, it gives her the few extra views. She is a problem. She's not mentally compass mentis. She's not all there. She will put views in front of everything. She is so hungry for attention. And I was listening to an interview earlier on with Thomas Markle Jr., an old interview, and he said that when she came along, she was his father's, everything, absolutely everything, and he spoilt her rotten, and he just spoilt her rotten. He must have ignored the other two kids, that must have been pretty tough for Tom and Samantha. But, these things happened, and they were in their teens, so they probably went out and did other things. But Meghan was his eyes. She was everything. And of course, she was all... I saw another video where she's always full of contradictions. She did a speech when she was on the Antipodean trip in Australia, where she thanked her father for no, not that one actually. That was when she said she paid for her own schooling. But the other one, when she did another speech, she thanked her father. And in another speech, she said, I was brought up on TV dinners. And then in another clip, she said, oh, I'm used to that. I'm from California, where we have farm-to-table stuff. Stuff like that. She doesn't even care that she's lying now. I've lost count of the amount of lies. I can remember when we got 19 lies, and we thought it was terrible that she was... It's more than that now. It's more like 1900 lies now. And fancy having a reputation where nobody trusts you. But she doesn't care. That's what I mean. She just... Oh, sorry about that. Hang on a second. Let me just blow my nose. Hiya, here I am. So what I'm trying to say is that I'm sort of trying to give you a bit of a kick up the backside and say, if you're on Twitter, retweet this and put Kensington Palace. Is it Kensington Royal? At the @ sign. Just keep on pushing towards the royal family. Do something, please do something. I think we're too soft. Well, I know British people are, but I'm sick of putting up with it. I'm sick of it. If I behaved like half as bad as Meghan Markle, I'd have been kicked out of my family home or whatever would have happened. Nobody should do all that lying like this. This is shocking stuff. She behaves like the worst person in the world. And it's not right. It's not right. She shouldn't be allowed to... Oh, another thing I got to show you is... Oh, look at that. That's Jupiter, the largest planet. And the reason I looked at this was, it looked a bit weird, And then I realised that the planet floor is underneath that. And what you can see, with the yellow sparks and things, and the green, is the sea, the clouds, and thunder and lightning. It's all happening on Jupiter. And I wonder sometimes, well, why, Elon? Why are you all keen on going to Mars? Jupiter looks pretty nice. It's got blue sea. It's got weather like we've got. It's amazing. I do like things like that. I don't know why, but I do. Or let me just show you this one. I know there's been loads of copies done, but I would like to show you this one because it's rather good.
Yeah. Just have to prove, you have the proof that you're proving that you can prove the proof.
It's divine intervention that God brought you to this podcast today.
Want some pretzels? I put them in a bag myself.
These pretzels are divinely ordered.
The pretzels of Sussex.
You've had it harder than literally any other person on the planet. Even Jesus, nailed up to the cross, didn't suffer as much as you.
I know.
Just love that this is what the Lord willed me to do with my will. To make another podcast where celebrities can talk about how hard their lives are, not to help people. No.
What we're doing here is as, if not more important than solving world hunger.
Wow.
I practiced really hard to come off as genuine.
So did I.
I think it's working.
I do too. It's divinely ordered how many times we've said I and me. Why did you say yes to the show?
And then you're like, do it. I was like, what? You're like, do it. I was like, what? You're like, do it. And then I was scared.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, you've got to admit it. That's good. That is good. That Jamie Kern-Lima, she's got a bit of a creepy face. She reminds me of what I used to think the man in the Mr. Sunman used to, the man in the moon or something. Big wide face, twinkling so much like Santa Claus. Her eyes are nearly closed, permanently grinning and agreeing with everything Meghan said. It was the perfect podcast for Meghan. Perfect. And Jamie Lee Curmer, she did okay out of it because she got the views for it. But if you think about it, it was really quite insulting to women. Let me just show you this one. This is good.
Yet.
I'm not sure.
I was just going to say that applies to every adult. That applies to me.
Yeah,
Yet.
I don't know what I'm doing. Yet.
My business hasn't gotten traction.
Yet.
No one's picked up my book proposal. Yet.
Yes.
I haven't found my soulmate. Yet. Everything is yet.
The power of yet.
Power of yet.
That's what people think of her podcast. And Meghan will keep on coming out with the same old rubbish, lies, stories that are not true, phrases, anecdotes and little tips in life, like the power of yet. It is ridiculous when you think about it. This is not practical information. This is not advice from a person that's all there in the head. She definitely isn't all there, because she reads things and memorizes other people's words and then uses them. And how sad it is that when she's got to say the reason, or how she changed the world, I should say, with the soap story. Isn't it sad that have you ever seen anybody that you know in your family have to repeat the same story ad nauseum till she'll keep on? Because when that woman asked her to tell the story about the soap wash stuff, she didn't think that the woman was taking the mickey out of her, and thinking, she said, oh, yeah, and she started the story, and then Brooke Shields butted in and said, when I was 11, I played the part of a prostitute. Well, I can remember that just about. I wasn't much older myself, and I don't suppose it's in the same theme, and I'm quite a moral person when you consider, I didn't watch the film myself, but it shut Meghan Markle up, and for that I will be grateful, because that shut Meghan Markle. Of course, then there was, I don't think Meghan and Brooke Shields are talking anymore, because Meghan didn't like being interrupted. Well, I wouldn't have interrupted with a story like that, because I wouldn't have, I don't know, Meghan, I don't know, she just doesn't fit in anyway, does she? Right, where we got now? Something else. Let me see now. I want to see. I forgot to tell you as well that she's done another. Look at this. This is funny. Meghan Markle trying to mingle. I get in all these from a guy called Paulie Rubino on X. He's very, very funny. He makes some lovely little funny things, Where am I now? Oh, here's another good one to see. The way she shakes her stuff. Hang on, let me see. Where is she now? This one. I've been busy watching a lot of stuff lately, and I kind of lost my bearings on everything. When she was doing this, being the queen at that party, you do know it wasn't her birthday party, don't you? Just so you don't forget. Shocking, isn't she? Stealing the limelight at somebody else's party. Where am I now? Where's that one? I want to see it. Oh, God help us. I've been talking so much lately to different people that I've forgotten what I said in my last video to you, which is a shocking way. Did I show you that? I'm Meghan Twerkle now. Bloody hell. Yes, I think I did. What I can usually... there's my last video where it ended. That one. So, I'm here. Right. Where am I now? Yeah, let's get rid of her. Don't like her. I'm not fussy on her anyway. I'm too old for Miley Cyrus. Let's have a little look. Yeah, she definitely changed her hat, and she changed her cardigan, and she changed the bobble in her hair. Those 3 things I know to be true because I've got the evidence. Why? I don't know. I really don't know, but I think that there's a reason for it, and I'm wondering what it is. Here we go. Profile, here we go. Here we go, let's try
this dish reminded me of the kind of food that I grew up eating in California, like that real sort of farm-to-table, fresh, really simple ingredients.
That was my goal.
2 boys from my class said, yeah, that's where women belong, in the kitchen.
When I heard this, the boys in my class started saying, yeah, that's where women belong, in the kitchen. I knew it hurt my feelings.
Do a little dollop of yogurt as our clouds, flour sprinkles, if we must. So, I went home and I told my dad what had happened. And he encouraged me to write letters. So I did.
If you love me, she says, as you tell the press you do, please stop. Please allow us to live our lives in peace. Please stop lying. Please stop creating so much pain. Please stop exploiting my relationship with my husband.
Just as we need more men like my father, who championed my 11-year-old self to stand up for what is right.
Amazing job, just getting in there, and it's it's the family that I suppose she's never had.
Thank you for everything.
Go ahead.
Daddy, stitches.
Ooh.
Well, I gotta zoom back on you.
Or push that button in the back. See, if you hit that button, you go full wide, right?
If there is an active role that the firm is playing in perpetuating falsehoods about us.
There. You see where those tall tales will get you?
But it's all true.
I guess this isn't what you signed up for.
All of those people cheering and applauding. I hated it.
Tried to adopt this British sensibility of a stiff upper lip. I tried. I really tried.
Make ourselves into a brand, just turn us into products. No more magazines and Netflix shows. We really can live a normal life.
TV tray dinners. It feels like such a different time.
That's how the lies are coming thick and fast. Even though she tells lies more than that, there's more recent ones. You've got to have the memory to remember that she said the opposite before. Then you've got to have it in stock. You've got to go back and look over your old things and then put them together. It takes a bit of doing. But luckily I found somebody that did it for me. But it's shocking. It's absolutely shocking. Yeah, the royal family have dumped her. She's over there in America. She can never publicly come back again. And I was looking at a video tonight. In fact, I think I got it here.
That was so normal with the microwavable kids' meals.
Shut up. It was the one where she went to the Endeavour in 2018 and to the Endeavour presentation or something. And when she got out of that car, those cameras, the paparazzi, it was a sea of flashes. And she was just the centre of everybody's world that night. And she must have thought, this is it, I've finally done it. Now, another thing I've come to realise is that she's mad at herself because she really did blow it. Have you ever had anything in your life that you've really done the wrong thing and absolutely messed up? I can't think of much because I always, I think I put it right if I can. I remember once I had a row with my grandmother, only one in my life. And I can remember we weren't speaking. And I was, proud or stubborn, I think I was. My grandmother was the same. And we'd gone on for about, 2 or 3 days. And then I don't know if it was my mother or my uncle said to me, you know you've upset your grandmother, don't you? That was all it took. I went straight out then and said, I'm sorry, Nana. And I hugged her and I cried and I vowed I would never, ever argue with my grandmother again. Never. I suppose that's not really the same. But in Meghan's case, she did a lot of wrong with the royal family. She didn't slag them on publicly at the time, but she wasn't learning the lessons. She went to Chester with her hair looking like Medusa, all the black, and she didn't have a hat on. And the Queen had mentioned to her that she'd like to see her in a hat. She didn't. And then she walked in front of the Queen, grabbed the Queen's flowers. No big deal, you know, she's Meghan. She thinks that she was fresh, she was American, but it wasn't right. She didn't look right and she behaved terribly. Then we got the pregnancy and she got some gall. She really got front on her, didn't she? The way she just did it. I don't know if she thought that it wouldn't be as noticeable as it was. Perhaps she thought she could pull it off. Perhaps that's why she went to America to have Lily, but definitely she did not pull it off. And she's humiliated the royal family. Luckily, they've come through it. But we won't. I mean, we're the fools that are paying the money that to pay for the royal family. We don't expect to be lied to. I mean, I don't think the royal family knew at the very, very beginning, but they did know before the baby was born, or the surrogate's baby was born. I think they knew. MI6, they can find out anything. And I just think that they should have been more honest with us, because if the royal family condone a lie, that makes them no better than Meghan Markle. And that's a thought, isn't it? That really is a thought. Anyway, I think that's it for tonight. Trouble is, I'll tell you what's wrong. It's too much. I've let too much slide without doing a video, and I don't know where I am with the stuff. But I will tell you this. Those of you that follow court cases, which I do, as you know, it's been a hard 32 days watching the Karen Reid trial. Very, very hard, because it is a retrial. I missed the first trial that had a mistrial. Anyway, they finished all the evidence. Oh, God, I tell you, some of the lies again. The police this time, the Boston police, lying, or Canton police, lying. And even to the point where, you know those body language guys? The one woman, Jen McCabe, she's a vicious little vixen, she is, because I know she wasn't the one to kill John O'Keefe, or fight him, I should say. But as she's saying, and then I did this and then that, you know how they have the habit of shaking their head like no? Whoa, she does it all the time. And then I went here, and then I went there, yes, I did, and her head is going, no. It's so obvious. Anyway, they've had all the evidence. It's very promising. For the truth, I mean, I must admit, if you think that Karen Reid is guilty, don't worry if you haven't watched the trial. I won't blame you for that, because I did think myself exactly the same, because I just believed what I saw on the surface, and I wasn't paying proper attention. I didn't intend to watch the trial. It wasn't something that interested me. You know, I don't know why, but all of a sudden, I just got caught up with it, and it's been probably the most complicated trial I have ever seen. There's so much in it, so many. You think to yourself, that can't be right. How could they keep that covered up? But when you know the story of how when he went in, and he did go into the house, they grabbed him and took him downstairs into the basement, where they had a sort of a very simple little gym with barbells and bars and things like that, and he was hit over the head with one of those. And then when the coast was clear, they took him out and laid him in the snow. Then they took her car in to the police, and then they've got video of them smashing the taillights and took the glass and plastered it all over the lawn to make it look like when she, or if she didn't hit him, she broke her taillight on John O'Keefe. And he didn't even break his arm, but they reckon she hit his arm with her taillight, and all you can see on his arm, which was not broke, it wasn't broke, was some dog bites, loads and loads and loads of dog bites. And the Alberts had a dog that wasn't very friendly with strangers, and you know that poor dog disappeared the next day. They'd had that dog for 7 years. And when Brian Albert, that's the guy, the policeman that is the main culprit here, when he was talking about his dog Chloe, he said, we rehomed it. We took it. I thought, yeah, that's another point against you, mate. You don't call your dog it, not after 7 years. Even if you say he or she, that's okay. I took her outside, but you can't call a dog it. You can't. That's wrong. So anyway, they didn't even call him this time, because it's up to the Commonwealth, that is the police, to prove their case. It's not up to the defence, i.e. Karen Reid, to prove they didn't do it. It's up to the Commonwealth to prove she did it. Well, they don't want Albert in there. They don't want the people that are going to be weak. So Brian Albert, who was on the last trial back last year, and you could see him shaking. Even his nose was shaking, and his voice was peculiar, and he was blinking like a nutter. You know, I thought, pull him back in, have him back in, and make him give evidence again, because he was as nervous as could be. And this dog that never stopped barking when strangers came, suddenly, without a word, disappeared by like 9 o'clock in the morning. I don't know where it went, but I think they killed it. And I think then they dug up the cellar floor, jackhammered it all up, and used the cement to fill in their swimming pool. So suddenly now they haven't got a swimming pool, and they got a brand new basement floor that they didn't even need. And so I thought, right, when she gets off this trial, I'm going to suggest that they jackhammer up the bloody swimming pool, pull out a few bits of concrete, because you can't get blood out of concrete because it soaks in, doesn't it? Wouldn't take them long to find, maybe they'll find Chloe's body in there as well. It's that horrible. They are that horrible. So tomorrow they're going to start, what's the word, the jury deliberates, don't they? They're going to start deliberating, and I'm hoping they'll be all over by lunchtime. It was a hard trial to follow. Hardest I've ever followed, and I maybe got 4 or 5 under my belt now. Murdoch was okay. That was quite difficult. But tomorrow, I'll tell you who else is on. Donna Adelson is in court. I don't know if it's tomorrow. I think there may be just jury selection or something tomorrow, but she's in court. She wants to move to another prison because they don't allow her to use a tab in this prison, and she talks to her husband 3 times a day for about 2 hours a day. Donna Adelson does talk to Harvey. Cool. Wendy is still lying low, I think, but she's got to be going in too. You know, I mean, it's all because of Wendy, isn't it? Anyway, I just love crime. I love jury trials in America. We don't get them over here. Occasionally you get a little bit with a judge summing up at the end, but you never get them giving evidence. And when you're into, and I'm sure you are, into watching people, like watching their behaviour. I do like watching the behaviour panel or something. And I like to remember it and try and put it into practice, you know, and watch people. Well, Meghan's a prime example. I mean, I know everyone's calling everyone a narcissist these days, or a malignant narcissist, but if it hadn't been for Meghan, we'd still be really none the wiser about how nasty and how repugnant and how ruining to a family one person can be. And it comes a time when I say to myself, you're not innocent, Mr. Markle Sr. You're not innocent. And Doria, I think she went to Jamaica one time too many and spent the money that Thomas Markle Sr. put into the travel agent business that they had. There's so much we don't know. And that's a fact. Because I think that when Meghan married Harry, I think they pretty much scrubbed everything that they could off the internet. But of course, she didn't tell them the whole truth. How could she? There's more to it than meets the eye. So that's why the incest between her grandmother and her grandmother's brother was still on the internet. But I think that's gone now. It's all sorts of things. There's worse than... And of course, when you've got interbreeding within a family, we get a lot of it in this country with first cousins marrying. And the disabilities that arrive with the family, the children, are really astonishing, more than you'd ever think. Because when you've got two lots of DNA that are the same, then they reproduce and opposite each other. I did have it explained to me, and I thought I remembered it for you, but there is a reason for it. And it's like, if you have the same genes, or 25% of the genes, then you've got 12.5% of misery, of imperfections. I don't know how, but I'm sorry I started that. I'm sorry. I did understand it when they said it, but it's not good even from 4, 5, 6 generations back. It's and that's for a reason, you know. So the best thing you can do if you want to marry somebody and you want to be sure you're not related is don't marry anybody that's a surrogate. Don't marry anybody that's been IVF'd. Don't marry, because, and this is, I've been saying this for years, there's so many people in the world now who don't even know who their own father is or mother is, because the mother or the father can lie because they don't want people to know that they're infertile, or they didn't want to go through pregnancy, or they were adopted and they don't want anyone to know. You've got no idea. And the more that people are intermingling and the world is becoming smaller with travel becoming a lot more common, it's not good enough now to go to the next town to meet somebody that isn't related. You've got to go to another country, you know, because wouldn't it be terrible if you found out that the person that you fell in love with was really a half-brother? Those sort of things have happened in this world, and I don't think it's fair, because then there's children involved. And in Meghan Markle's case, you just don't know. And, you know, her sister, Sam, has got MS. I mean, I'm not saying that there's anything to come from that, but the royal family should have known this. They should have looked it up. And, well, it's not Meghan's fault, is it? Not Doria's fault, but I don't know. Could that be why maybe, look at that, yeah, just thought of that. Maybe the royal family said to Meghan, oh, don't you have any children because you might be a carrier for MS, or because your relatives were related, maybe you should use a surrogate and we'll support you. What if that was the case? I mean, come on, do you really trust the royal family now after all this? Because we all know that she wasn't pregnant. Why didn't they just say we've used a surrogate with Meghan's eggs? That would have been good enough. Everyone would have accepted that, and Meghan would have been free of any genetic things wrong with her. I'm just thinking out loud here, but I know one thing. There's a huge lie that's being covered up. Same as Keir Starmer knows about the Pakistani grooming gangs. All sorts of absolute horrors going on in this world. And some people are just afraid, or they don't want to lose their job. You know, Dan Wootton said, I was the first person in the world to call this out. I thought, no, Dan, no, you weren't. You weren't. You know, and it's wrong to say you were when you weren't. Dan Wootton, I like Dan. I gotta say, I do like him. But he's always so keen to say, I was the first one to do that. He's always keen to blow his own trumpet. I'm not going to blow my own trumpet, but I definitely was before Dan. Trouble is, I'm not in mainstream media, and I don't want to be either. I would hate somebody to be policing what I have to say. At least I say what I think. I hope I haven't offended anyone with what I've said. I'm only thinking of the long-term things. What's the best for everybody? That's what I think. I always think of what's the best for the long term for the most people. That's how I used to run the parlour. Always, never an individual, always what's the best for everyone. And in this case, we far outnumber the royal family. And Meghan Markle is nothing more than a little pipsqueak. She's a nobody to worry about at all. Who cares what she thinks? What's best for the people? And we are the majority, and they should do what we say. So if we shout loud enough, they should listen to us. Oh, and I saw a bit of a video tonight, and it's true. They were interviewing a man that worked with Chris Watts. You know Chris Watts and his two little darling kids, Bella and Cece, and his wife Shanann. Apparently, when he was working with Chris, and Chris had just heard the news that he was having baby number 3, and he wasn't, they were congratulating him, and he was going, yeah, okay, you know. And this man that was working with him, they were out together working, just the two of them, on some oil well. And he was explaining to Chris that his wife was having difficulty getting pregnant, that they'd had 3 or 4 miscarriages, which is always sad. And Chris said, well, do you want one of mine? And he said, I looked at him and I said, well, as long as it's a little girl. Oh, yeah, he said, I got a girl. And he said, we'll organise it next week or something like that. And the next thing you know, within a week of that conversation, Chris had done what he'd done. But it gives you some idea of how unhappy Chris Watts was with his situation. And I do have a lot of sympathy with his situation, although the way he handled it was totally wrong. But he did have, apparently he earned $5,400 a month. And the childcare for the 2 children was $2,500 a month. And the mortgage on the house was, well, the mortgage and the childcare took all of Chris's salary. And then Shanann was, well, whether you like to admit it or not, she was neck deep in a pyramid selling scheme that if she didn't hit a target, she had to pay the $600 a month car payment for her Lexus. So she had to hit targets to get her. So she used to buy stock with her own money and store it in the cellar and so a lot of money was tied up in stock. Financially, one of those, Shanann or Chris's parents, should have stepped in and said, you are living above your means. And I think they were. I'm not saying that would have solved the problem, but it might have saved somebody's life, all their lives, I think, if they had pulled the reins on their spending. You can't spend more than you earn, and you can't live a life on credit. Oh, even if you think you can handle it, and I'm sure everybody that says they can. You know, with your pay if you're working, and I'll pay $200 a month off my credit card. Still, it's a little bit of stress in your brain. You may not even notice it, but it's one extra payment that when it comes month after month after month, it isn't such a little thing anymore when you've got to make a choice between, can I take my wife away for the weekend, or no, I can't because I've got to make this payment off the loan. You know, so if you save before you spend, you're in a much... I never had credit, ever. Oh, I did have a car when I had the parlour, but I had it and I paid it off at $800 a month for... It wasn't long, 8 months, I think, something like that. I paid it off, and of course it was a hard 800 is a lot of money, but I paid it off quick because I didn't want to be dragging. Anyway, I'm free for financial advice. Just 911 and ask for Wally. Oh, if I was good with money, I'd never have got myself bankrupt, would I? I'd have run away before they caught me. Never mind. Anyway, I'll be back tomorrow, I promise you. I've got to sort out my this tab, the phone. I've got to put a new battery in the phone. I've got to update my stuff, but I'll be all right for a couple of weeks, I'm sure. Thank you for listening. I want to send my love to Sandy and Annie, because I haven't spoken to Sandy South. Oh, and Alice. Alice sings. She sent me some money last week. Thank you, Alice. Listen now. I finally got the monetization to go through tonight. Oh, I was over the moon because I tried to do it on this tab here and I couldn't get it to go through. And so I tried on my phone and it went through like a dream. And it takes about a month for them to have a look at my account and see if it's okay. Meanwhile, over on Twitter, there's somebody who I don't even know. I don't know her. Never spoke to her. Don't know her. And she's reported me already because she listens to all these videos. So she'll have to wait till the end to find out that I've passed the monetization stage. So she's going to up the ante now, and she'll be sending tweet after tweet after tweet after tweet to YouTube saying I've been banned 10 times and I'm a lawbreaker, I'm a criminal. If you go on to X, if you're on X, if you go into the search and you just put in Yankee, leave a space, Wally. You don't need the @ Just put Yankee Wally as a name and press and have a look what's at the top there. And you'll see who, I don't know who she is. I know it's a girl. I think she I don't know. No, I can't say she said she was Canadian because I don't think she is. She's too angry at me. I mean, I don't think I even know anyone in Canada. But I shall proceed with everything, and hopefully I won't do anything. I'm trying hard not to do anything wrong. Thanks for listening. I will be back tomorrow because I got to catch up with my videos. Okay? Take care of yourselves. Now, 60 minutes. Bloody hell, I can half talk, can I? I can talk a glass eye to sleep. See you tomorrow. Cheerio.